Hello race fans and welcome back to the RWC Season 2. It's race number 8 and we're back here in Spain at the Circuit de Barcelona. It's shaping up to be a really good one, as if y'all were here for the last race, y'all seen just how close things are getting between the top 4 teams. And honestly, even further down the grid, the battles do not stop between manufacturers, and it's looking to only get more fierce here as we only have 2 races left this season, not including this one. So our next race at Fuji, and then of course the championship race itself in Australia. So it's looking to be a good one. Last season, season 1, our top 3 finishers here were Renault, Aston Martin, and McLaren with their respective drivers. Unfortunately, 2 of those drivers no longer racing in this series. One of those drivers who are still here with us, though, is Mystics with Aston Martin. So we'll see if maybe they can do a repeat here this season, this race. Just for some context, they finished in 2nd place last season in season 1. So we'll see if they can replicate it or even do better. As far as the manufacturers, though, McLaren and Renault actually took the win here in season 1, so we'll see if they'll be able to do that again with their rookie driver Ramos this season. As for McLaren, their rookie driver Ramsey, unfortunately not having the best luck of this season. It seems Ramsey just unfortunately seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when it comes to accidents. If you've been keeping track this season, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Race 1 and Watkins Glen, and then just a few races ago at the Red Bull Ring. Very unfortunate for McLaren and Ramsey. Again, like I said, just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But hopefully he'll be in the right time, the right place at the right time this time, as now we are heading to the green flag, lap number 1 of this 10-lap race here in Spain. Let's go green. Project G leading the field as the green flag drops. Fairly in 2nd, Kudos Khalid in 3rd, closing out the podium. Batter in 4th, and Casanova closing out the top 5 as we head into turn 1. Project G qualifying on pole, as just mentioned. Absolutely flyer qualifying session. He did finish 6th place here in season 1, so definitely not a bad finish by him and Team Porsche. So obviously they're trying to capitalize off of that decent finish in season 1, and we're gonna see if they can, as it is pretty much side by side the entire way down the grid as they continue to battle. Perez on the outside of Besnard. Besnard will get the move done, moving that Ford up a position, so very nicely done by him. Surprisingly, everybody keeping it relatively clean, as it seems throughout this season there's definitely been a lot more bumping and rubbing between these drivers. So the fact that they're keeping it clean early on in this race at definitely one of the more tight and technical tracks is definitely nice to see, as it seems these rookies are starting to get more comfortable alongside their veteran counterparts here. Championship battle here. Rise going on the inside of Jensen, your top 2 right now in the points standing. Both of them qualifying pretty much next to each other, more towards the bottom of the field, which was quite surprising. It seems more of the underdogs managed to qualify on the top half. Jensen doing a beautiful move to get back in front, but Rice with the over-under now back on the inside as they head towards the chicane. Unfortunately, he's not able to make it stick on his side. He actually falls back maybe like half a car length, but their battle just starting here with this race, as Rice now gets side by side with Jensen again as they come along to the front straight. Rice will actually overtake, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jensen tucks in behind him and gets that draft going and probably attacks him again going back into turn 1. So we are now on lap 2 of 10 as the rest of the field comes down the front straight. Wyatt's Garage getting the pass done on Gills for 15th position, so very nicely done by him. Another pass going on in the back there. Gao overtaking Ramos. So yet again, another clean pass, very nicely done. Wyatt's Garage losing traction, opening the door for Gills. Gills will walk right in, but Wyatt's Garage with the top end of that C8 Corvette will close that door again. Man, the top end of that C8 Corvette bailing out Wyatt's Garage multiple times this season. If only Chevy could just get their strategies in order so that they could get that car on the podium, because it definitely has more than enough pace to do so. As it seems now, the grid is slowly starting to space out. Now that we are 2 laps in, the battle's kind of starting to calm down for the majority of the field, as all the cars are now settled into their respective positions. But Gills, on the other hand, is not happy with that notion as he looks to kind of attack Wyatt's Garage again. We're now reaching the most technical part of this track, where the chicanes. Gao overtaking Ramos again, as Ramos tried to get his position back. They were side by side going into that turn, but Gao with a very nice retake of that position. Hidalgo and Foragori closing out the grid here. Boy, do we have some words regarding those two teams there, but we'll wait until the end of the season with the season recap to inform y'all of what's going on with Honda and Lexus. There's actually a lot going on with Peugeot as well, but again, we'll talk about that at a later time. Rice with the very nice front straight pass over Mystics. Several other passes being made on the front straight now, as we're now on lap 3. Project G fairly in batter, with very respectable gaps between themselves, first, second, and third. Those positions unchanged as of now, but I'm sure a few laps later there may be some changes on the upper half of the grid. The rest of the grid going by right now, mostly single file, a couple battles within, but for the most part, nothing too serious going on now on lap number 3. As I mentioned, for the most part, everything seems to kind of calm down as we are now getting into the middle of this race, or well, quarter way, but making our way to the middle of this race. So usually about this time, this is pretty much how the field reacts. Everyone's kind of got their distance between each other, just trying to defend their positions. As I mentioned, that Ramsey looking to attack Casanova there up front of the camera, as there's a long train behind them. Jensen attacking Perez, going on the inside, and he might try and get a double. No, he does not. No, he does! He gets on the side of Mystics after overtaking Perez. Oh, there's contact between the two. They both managed to hold on. Jensen will forcefully take 9th place from Mystics, but Mystics did not like that at all. He's trying to stick to his side. Unfortunately, he just doesn't quite have the pace to stay on Jensen's side, so Jensen will get away with that forceful overtake. Arguably, depending who you ask, very nicely done by Jensen, but to others that might be a little controversial. As there's another battle there, Wyatt's Garage taking over Barth more cleanly, very nicely done by Wyatt's Garage, slowly making up his way to the top 10. We'll see if he can get it done this race. Perez looking to get on the inside of Mystics. Besnard looking to get into the inside of Barth. Both of them will do so. We'll see if Besnard can... no, unfortunately he does not secure that position, and actually he will open up the door to Gills after fighting with Barth, and Gills sticking to his outside. They're side by side. We'll see if he gets the run on that outside line. It looks like he does, but unfortunately Barth is in front of him, but it doesn't matter. He pretty much gives Barth a push to get him out the way so he can secure the position over Besnard, but Besnard comes back and they're side by side again. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two there as they go around the turn, still side by side. Gills finally pulls away with that V10 powered Lamborghini. Unbelievable battle between the two momentarily throughout those several corners. Gao now looking to attack Besnard. Ford versus Ferrari for the, third time this season, I believe. So we'll see how that classic rivalry turns out the rest of this race. Looks like there was a little bit of contact there between Lamborghini and Jaguar, but I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, thankfully, nothing will come of it, as everyone seems to be back in control and pretty much tuck in back into the grid here. Now coming back to the front straight to signal the halfway point of this race, lap 5 of 10. These laps are just flying by as the first row of pit stops will now begin. Mercedes and Chevy being the first two in. We'll see if anybody else joins them momentarily, as the rest of the field will stay out, probably going to come into the pits in lap 6. Taking a quick breath there to recollect my thoughts. So again, the first round of pit stops have been underway now, as the grid gets a decent shakeup due to those manufacturers entering the pits. And Ramsey, he goes wide and he's into the gravel. Thankfully, no contact, it seems. Oh, there is contact. Perez makes contact with Ramsey. What is with Ramsey and just having to make and Rice is in the gravel as well. Complete chaos unfolding here in Barcelona. What happened to Rice? It seems no one's around him. Oh, just super late braking. I don't know if he had brake fade or just brake failure altogether. But he just completely overshoots his braking point. Just goes flying off of the track. Yet yellow flags will be out for both of them, for both Ramsey and Rice. So we will be going to a restart here momentarily. Thankfully, nothing too well. Unfortunately for Ramsey and Perez, they did make contact, as we'll see here in a moment, as the cameraman tries to go back to that onboard footage. So here we are on board with Perez, as man, just really unfortunate. Just as I was saying, just Ramsey always just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, Perez, it's kind of hard to say. It seems that entire time he was fighting traction himself. Do keep in mind, all these teams did not pit. They didn't pit on lap 5. It looks like they were waiting for lap 6, but it looks like that came back to bite them. As we had that incident. So we're on the restart now. Project G, fairly batter, still your top 3 leading this restart. However, Kudos was looking to hop into that podium position, overtaking batter. We'll see if he got it done momentarily, as the rest of the field fighting so ferociously on this restart. My goodness, unbelievable. As you see there, Rice in the top 10 already, so it looks like he got a really good restart, considering that he restarted lower in the field. As you saw there, Ramsey and Perez, thankfully they were able to fix their damage. The damage wasn't too extensive, but they did restart in the back of the field due to their extended time in the pits, trying to get those cars in good enough condition for the restart. So we'll see. They do still have 5 laps to go. We'll see how many positions they can make up in these 5 laps. But as far as the restart, it is very unfortunate for the both of them to restart all the way in the back. Currently looking at Besnard in P12. Ramsey right behind him. Besnard making a move on Barth on the inside, pushing Barth extremely on the outside, making the move incredibly easy, but he makes the same mistake. He goes wide on the outside, so Barth will get the easy retake of his position. Unbelievable what is going on here in Barcelona. Is Barcelona the next Red Bull? Like, what is going on? Project G with an incredible gap over Fairley, very respectable, as he is absolutely hunting for his first ever victory. I went to make some notes. I looked back into Season 1. Project G having the highest finish of 2nd place. He's had 2 podiums. However, a victory somehow has eluded him all of Season 1. So here in Season 2, in race number 8, we'll see if Project G can finally get his first career win here in the RWC. That would be huge for both him and Porsche. As we saw there, Rice battling with Gills, 1 or 2 of your 4 top manufacturer and driver contenders battling each other there for the 9th and 8th positions. It looks like Rice will get the position, however, as he pulls away from Gills and now sets his sights on Mystics in the Aston Martin, your defending champion this season, as the rest of the field goes by there. Ramos in P14, Renault being one of your podium teams, actually your victorious team in Season 1, currently running in P14, so not too sure how they feel about that given their history here in Barcelona, but hey, that's racing. Sometimes not everything goes your way. As we go back to the front, the podium still unchanged. 7 laps into this race. Phenomenal driving by the 3, Project G, Fairley, and Batter, being able to defend their positions from each other, really, and the rest of the grid for 7 laps straight. Unbelievable driving, as Gills will actually go into the pits there. Not entirely sure why, considering that usually the pit lane would be open on the next lap, but perhaps Lamborghini had an issue or something that we just don't know about as the rest of the field goes by there. Perez and Ramsey, unfortunately, still at the bottom of the grid, no longer closing it out due to Lamborghini's pit stop, but no positions have been made by those 2 drivers after their incident on lap 5, which is, again, unfortunate. That's your top 5. The rest of your top 10 going through the camera there, single file with just 2 laps to go. No battles seeming to be made, although I see right there behind Davi, Jensen and Rice yet again. Those 2 pretty much been fighting each other intensely since race 3 of this season. We'll see if they start fighting again here in Barcelona. And it looks like they will, as Rice is seriously trying to close the gap there. He's getting really close. He looks on the outside, but Jensen pushes him wide, so he will swap. Nope, Jensen's still blocking. He'll have to swap again into the inside, and still he is unable. No, he is actually. Jensen makes a mistake. He goes super wide. He opens the door wide open for Rice, but Rice, we'll see if he makes a mistake. That seems to be a trend going on here. He does go very wide. He's super outside, but he does not make a mistake. So he is able to hold the position from Jensen. We'll see if Jensen will reel him back in on the front straight. There is a significant power difference between those 2 cars, so we'll see if he does just that here on the front straight. But man, Rice making a huge gap coming out of that corner. So honestly, that gap might actually be his insurance here on the front straight. Jensen might not be able to close that gap, even despite the front straight being incredibly long. Besnard there closing out your top 10. Battle for 11th? No, it's not a battle. Wyatt's Garage will easily take the 11th position from Casanova, but they do enter the corners again, so Casanova will come back. We'll see if he can get his position back. It's looking fruitful. Casanova and Peugeot not really having much of a season, nothing really too noteworthy, but right now his performance does seem to look pretty good. So we'll see if Peugeot will continue to work with Casanova going into Season 3. We'll see if they can get anything going. If not, then Season 4 might be, well, unknown for Casanova. But none of that. Project G still leading, absolute dominance from Team Porsche right now, as there's only 2 laps to go, nearly the final lap, as we're already towards the end of this lap. So we'll see if Project G can hold on for just 1 more lap. This would be hands down the most dominant performance, as Batter goes super wide. Did he lose the position? Yes, he did. Kudos Khalid sneaking right through, as Batter, who's been very consistent this entire race as well, holding on to that 3rd place position, finally makes a mistake, and it just so happens that Kudos Khalid was right there at the right time to get the very easy pass onto the podium. We'll see if he holds on, though. I'm pretty sure Batter will eagerly want to get that position back, as Rice overtakes Davi for the 5th place spot. Davi now falling back into 6th on the last lap, so Rice trying to get as many points as he can to secure his lead, which actually he just recently lost by 1 point last race. So Rice trying to get his insurance back yet again, trying to get as many positions as he can. But it's the last lap, as I've mentioned a few times already. This is the last time that they're going around this track, so any moves that need to be made now, and it doesn't look like any moves are going to be made on Project G, as he has a very respectable gap over Fairley. Project G pretty much using Fairley as his bouncer for the rest of the grid, as Kudos Khalid is trying to get close to Fairley to maybe snack a second place finish, which I believe would be Kudos Khalid's highest finish if he gets second. I don't believe he's ever gotten second. He has gotten a podium before in third, but again, I cannot recall if he's ever been in second place or higher. Jensen looking to make a move on Davi. He does. He goes for the dive on the inside. He makes it stick, and he secures the 6th place spot right behind Rice. This is definitely not what Rice and Team Toyota wanted. They wanted as many positions away from Jensen and Red Bull and Audi, excuse me. But unfortunately, they will rain on his parade there. But whose parade will not be rained on is Project G, with Team Porsche finally getting his first career win in the RWC here in Barcelona. Fairley will get second. Kudos Khalid with a podium, I believe his only his second podium, if I'm not mistaken. So very nicely done there by Kudos Khalid. And Team BMW Batter will hold on to 4th. Rice will close out the top 5. Jensen 6th, Davi 8th, Mystics, Davi 7th, Mystics 8th, Besnard. Oh boy, what a race that was, kind of mirroring Red Bull Ring just slightly there for a moment with all that chaos. But we're going to bring up the points here. Only 2 races left this season, and it's going to be a heck of a finish. Hope to see y'all there. If y'all enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. We'll see y'all at the next race. Peace.